test. Mic test. Mic test.
Mic test.
And we welcome you out to the Horde Athletic Complex again here on this Sunday afternoon for the final two games of this four-game series between Andrew College and the West Georgia Tech Knights. We had a few mic issues there to begin the game, and I'm getting fitted here for another microphone. But anyway, we'll run down through the lineups here real quick, like for the West Georgia Tech Knights. Leading off and playing left field will be Davis Aiken. Batting second will be the shortstop, Bryce Todd. Hitting third and playing second base will be Corey Fehrenbach. Batting fourth will be the catcher, Andy Maccabee. Batting fifth and playing first base is next is third short, Trevor Billings. Right fielder will be hitting ninth. And the center fielder, Hudson Power, will bat ninth. Pitching today for the West Georgia Tech Knights will be Blake Turner. Now on the mound for the first game for the Andrew College Fighting Tigers is Dalton Kuhn. Josh?
Dalton Kuhn is a very hard throwing righty pitcher. He works slow in the zone, has an off speed curveball and a changeup. Every now and then mixing.
Game, I think his last outing was against Gulf Coast last Saturday. Did a fine job. A person we're going to have to keep an eye on is Josh Garland's running mate, Zach Lippincott. With Josh out another week to 10 days here, Zach's having to do all the catching. It's kind of a warm day today. Supposed to be a high of 72. Supposed to be 81 tomorrow, and so like I said, we gotta have to keep an eye on him. Got to keep him healthy. And Kuhn starts out with the ball outside. Second pitch is also a little bit high, 2-0. Way out of the zone with that one. Three balls and no strikes. Dalton wants another ball. I'm assuming West Georgia Tech's going to do anything they can to get something going. They've scored one run in two games up here, so I would expect them to be taking, bunting, everything and anything to try to get runners in scoring position. And just like that, Aiken draws a four-pitch walk. That'll bring up the shortstop, number one, Bryce Todd.
That's something you really don't see a whole lot of from these Andrew College pitchers are walks, especially 4 pitch walks.
Yeah, very uncharacteristic. Again, head coach Todd Pratt for the West Georgia Knights running through a whole bunch of signs down there. And Dalton is set. Todd bunts one about eye high and pops it foul. Clapped his hand in disgust after that. Should have never tried to bunt that. So Dalton Todd ahead, 0-1. Runner on first. Dalton keeping him close over there at first. We're in the top half of the first inning here. If you're just joining us. Dalton very wary of Aiken over there. All low and outside. 1-1 count. Again, Todd did not square around on that one. Todd is bunting this time. Stubbs lets it roll. And that takes an unbelievably bad roll right there. Stays right on the paint. That now puts runners on first and second. Brings up second baseman Corey Farron back. All right, Farron back. Squares. Bunts right through that.
And that was a tough break for the Andrew College defense right there. I mean, that ball was placed right there on the line, and the way it looked like it was spinning, it looked like it was going to roll foul, but, I guess a blade of grass kept it in play right there.
That's about all it did keep it in play. That or a little bit of white paint there. Farron box squares again. Curveball outside. Again, Todd running through the signs. Coach Pratt. Dalton sets and delivers. Fehrenbach takes strike 2. Didn't like that call too much, but either way, it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nobody out here. Runners on second and third for West Georgia Tech. Tigers in a little trouble right off the bat. Big out here right now for the Tigers. I don't know how he didn't call that a strike. On the count, 2-2.
It's always tough to get that low pitch at the beginning of the game, especially, when you walk the leadoff batter. Your zone kind of shrinks up, but I think if Dalton settles in, that zone will start opening up more as the game progresses.
Big Bender fouled off. Curveball seems to be working really well today, or at least so far anyway. Again, the count is 2-2. Got runners on first and second, nobody out. Here in the top half of the first, West Georgia Tech threatening early. Slices that one foul down the left field line. Go over the defense here for the Tigers real quick like. At third base, we have Charlie Stubbs. Shortstop, Tim Manning. Second base, Deion Sellers. At first is Brett Anderson. Behind the plate, Zach Lippincott. Get to the outfield here in a second. Dalton does the spin move back around. Finish up with the defensive alignment here. In left field, Levante LeCount. Center field, Michael Warren. And in right field, Anthony Young. And again, on the mound, Dalton Kuhn with the pitch. Fehrenbach fouls that one back. Count remains 2-2. Nice pitch there by Kuhn, but Fehrenbach fights it off. Good battle going on right here, Josh.
Yeah, it really is. Hopefully Kuhn can go ahead and put Fehrenbach away right here and not really have to labor through any more pitches against him. But anything right now, a strikeout or a double play, we'll see what happens.
Ball. Dion dove for it. Kips away from him. Here comes the runner home. Dion's throw to the plate. Not in time. Todd ends up on third. Fehrenbach sneaks a single through there. Dion got some glove on it, but he was diving and kicked away from him just a few feet. Pratt never hesitated, sending Aiken home. So we still have nobody out. Up to the plate is the catcher, Andy McAbee. Again, we have runners on first and third. Still nobody out. West Georgia Tech has taken their first lead of the series here, 1-0. Really nice curveball right there. He drops in for strike one. That ball wasn't hit very hard either. It took about 19 hops and got out there and just hit it in the right spot. So seems to be a recurring theme here.
One of the Achilles heels for right now for the Tigers so far is the first inning scoring. We get off to a bad start. It's only in the first inning, and then we kind of settle in, get the nerves out of us, and kind of cruise from then on out. But right now, limiting the damage in this first inning is going to be key for the rest of the game.
Yeah, I think they take a nice 6-4-3 double play right here and yield a run. Wouldn't be a problem at this point. Another really nice curveball right there. McAbee not real happy with that, but runs the count to 0-2. Not always a good idea for the catcher to be arguing with the umpire. He's going to want those calls when he's behind the plate. No balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out. Runners on first and third. West Georgia Tech up 1-0. A little bit outside. Not sure what kind of a contact hitter McAbee is, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Pratt get Fehrenbach moving here, right here, to try and stay out of the double play. Kuhn keeping him close. He's set and delivers. Throws it right by him. Kuhn, again, found another gear, got a little giddy up to it about letter high, and McAbee swung right through it. That brings up the first baseman, Zach Sims. Big left-handed hitter. Again, first and third, 1 out now. It's a little bit outside. Dalton has his sign and is set and delivers. Other one a little bit outside and high. Runs the count to 2-0. And the 2-0 pitch. Follows up with another curveball there. Runs the count to 3-0. Sims a pretty deadly hitter. I'm not sure we want to get fat right here, eh, Josh?
Yeah, it's one of those deals right now where you want to throw your pitch. If he doesn't swing at it and you walk him, so what?
Well, he Wasn't listening there, and Sims taking all the way right down the middle. 3-1. Dalton keeping him close over there. Ball's driven into left center. Levante with a great diving catch. He's tagging at third. And he slides in safely. That was Todd. Bryce Todd with the second run of the inning right there. Levante LeCount made a really nice running catch, diving catch there, laid out for it. Todd was kind of halfway off the bag. He thought it might fall, had to come back and tag up. Runner stayed at first. So now we have 2 out. The third baseman, Blaine Swift, to the plate. Fehrenbach stayed at first. He was probably playing off also, thought it was going to get down.
You know, it's always tough to pitch around a leadoff wall.
Jeffrey Jackson and Rudy Radiger back from Bradenton, Florida, helping out on the tech part. And we'll be back shortly.